Good. Oops. Shit.
I love this.
That's all right.
I love this so much.
Hello, people. I promised to do a creepy intro, and I think I succeeded totally. So, a long ago, I was browsing the internet and I found a Good People website where some ladies were smiling and telling that they do classes for friendship. And I was super curious about that. And then I figured out they had a paid community. And that's what we're gonna try to figure out. How do you monetize friendship and what are friendship classes?
What about monetization? Again, this dude with his monetization. So, yes, okay, let's briefly introduce ourselves just in case.
Yeah.
So, I'm Lera, I'm the artist, and I'm community manager of our community here. So nice to
Queen
meet
of
you.
fucking everything.
And queen of fucking everything, that's how I
Yeah.
call myself. And I have troubles making friends, so very nice.
Anna, do you have troubles making friends?
I'm Anna. I think I do not have troubles making friends.
Good for you.
I don't know. This was a very invasive question from the beginning. I don't know if I have troubles making friends. I have 3 friends, but I have a question. Our group never met in real life. Are we friends?
That's a complicated question. Of course, Anna, we are. Of course, we are.
Of course.
So yeah, and tell about yourself. Like, okay,
Yeah.
I can tell about her. She has 1 million hobbies and she's very smart.
Ah, yeah, it was me. Sorry, she was. I forgot already. See how much the question throws me off. So we accomplished the creepy intros of ourselves.
Okay, Alec, your turn, and then.
I was like, did you? They're gonna notice that I also exist. No, I'm here for the troubles. I had one job to do a creepy intro and I failed it. That pretty much summarizes of who I am and what I do here.
Nina, tell about yourself.
Amazing. So my name is Nina, and I'm one of those 2 ladies of Good People who created the company, created the community. And that's what I'm doing right now, is bringing some people together to do cool things and meet new people through that, make some new friends, maybe internet friends, maybe real life friends. We'll see.
You never know.
Yeah.
So, yeah. How did you come up with the idea? So basically, I was reading. I watched your website. It looks amazing. I don't know. I like it very much. A lot of happy pictures and the colors are so nice. I was like, yeah. And I've been reading that you said that you had troubles making friends. And when you're like making friends, it doesn't feel right with you for some reason or something like that.
And it's funny. Like, I think I'm still figuring out, like we were chatting earlier, what does it mean to have friends? Like, the people who you hang out with and do stuff with, are they friends even if you don't have these super deep conversations, but you just like hang out with them and have fun, and that's the extent of their relationship. And I just found, like, I don't know, when I was younger, I would get along really well with everybody. Like, whoever I met, I could have a conversation, I'd get along with them, it'd be fine. But I'd have a really hard time like developing it into a friend that I would want to see over and over, that I would want to share things with, that I would trust them to like have thoughts on my life or the problems that I was facing. So it all kind of stayed like not fully surface level, but kind of in that top 50% where it's like, I don't know, I wouldn't share anything super meaningful. And so it felt like, oh, literally, if I lost this friendship, it wouldn't impact my life that much. And I just go meet somebody else I can kind of hang out with. And so when I met my co-founder, Nilu, like we met to build this company together. And 2 years ago, when we first started, it was a dating app, actually. So again, for me, again, for meeting people, but in a much more romantic kind of sense, and for getting dates and making that better. And it was just really cool to see how, like, through doing something together with somebody where you're responsible to each other, you have to make decisions together, you have to go through hardships together, like it really started to build a bond that got past that super kind of surface level that I was used to. And I was like, is this how friends are made? Like, do you do stuff together and kind of keep seeing each other over and over and over? This is so much better than like meeting people at networking events and trying to do a million Zoom calls or a million coffees and hoping it'll translate into something. And that's kind of where the idea started.
Yes, I can totally understand you, and this is so sad because I was desperate that like, okay, maybe after 20 it's not possible to make friends.
We heard that so much when we were talking to people. Everyone was like, yeah, university was fine, or college was fine, high school was fine, because I'm constantly surrounded by people. And whether I like you or not, we have the same classes, we're always in the same place. We probably live in
Same
the same like
problems. Yes, yes.
kind of the same neighborhood or at least close by. And now it's like, if I don't work with you and I just met you, like, how do I?
How to make
where
friends?
Oh yeah, exactly.
Like
That was
where?
exactly like where and how. Because even for us, it was like, you're really cool. I met you at this thing. Do you want to grab coffee?
Yeah.
Do you want to grab a second coffee? Do I send you stuff on
And then
Instagram? Like what?
it's kind of weird. I'm always feeling a bit awkward, even if I met person.
Yes.
Like, and then like, should I write her? Maybe I'm just being
Yes.
annoying. I don't know.
Yeah, like exactly my thoughts. Like before,
Yes.
I had this very this way to connect with girls, especially. Like I said, maybe we should go shopping, but I don't like to shop. But I thought that this is the perfect place to go together because food is near. Like you have like a place where you can walk around, like exchange
Yes.
with each other your thoughts because like you like a dress and what she thinks about. I don't know, but I stopped doing that actually. I don't know why.
So how
Because-
are you finding friends right now? Tell us
Through our
secret. I
lovely
need that.
community.
Is it
I
time
don't
for
know.
me to break in?
With
No.
meditation, no.
disagree?
No.
Whatever is still no. I respect your point of view, people.
Thank you very much. So yeah, like how to make friends right now? I don't understand, especially in this like COVID world, where it's like everything is closed. We're doing startup, so I'm not going to some job.
You're
Yeah.
going to start a
Yeah.
pitch event on Thursday.
And I bet that I'm gonna just sit there quietly because I'm not like you. People will not come to me just to talk.
You don't have a nice beard.
Can you borrow me for Thursday? So like I have zero clue how to make friends, and this I was thinking for all the time that it's something wrong with me.
Yeah.
Like
So Nina, she's going to a startup event tomorrow. You have responsibility, like in 10 minutes, to tell her how to to re-educate her.
It's so funny. Like, yeah, those are kind of the two things we wanted to do with good people. One is have that community where you can meet people. And then the second is like, it's such a common misconception that, I don't know, I think you feel a little out of place and you're like, is it just me? Because everybody else seems like they're making friends and they seem fine. So like, clearly it's something on my end that I'm not doing right or meeting the right people or something. And we heard that so much, like we felt that ourselves. And so what we wanted to do with our newsletter that comes out like a couple of times a month is just teach people the skills for how to meet people and be like, you can break it down, you can learn it, you can practice. It's literally just a skill like public speaking or like learning how to code or whatever it is. You just kind of have to break down the steps and see that it's not this mysterious, magical thing that some people have and some people don't. It's literally just practice. And so one of the things that like helped me a lot and that I think about a lot is if I assume that everybody feels this way, can I do the thing that I wish other people would do and feel like, okay, I'm not doing this for myself. I'm doing it to make it easier on them. I'm just going to help this person out and go say hi to them because they seem like they're not talking to anybody or they seem like they're kind of having an awkward time in the conversation and don't know how to carry it. Okay, let me just do that for them. And then it feels like it takes all the pressure off of me to be like, fuck, like, is this weirding them out? Do they not want to talk to me? Am I asking too much? And be like, I am doing it for you. You are welcome. And that's worked really, really well for me. That's been like my one party trick kind of to start meeting people.
this is so
cool. It is really
this is
cool.
so smart. So right now you're like sending a newsletter how to make friends, yes?
Pretty much, yeah. And it's like how to create a sense of belonging both in where you live and with the people you're surrounded by. Because I really think it's not just about the people, but it's like knowing your city, knowing your neighborhood, feeling at home there, feeling like, the cafes and the parks and I don't know, just like what it looks like. And that's also a way of feeling like you belong somewhere.
So after my test, I signed up. So I'm going to get these emails, right?
Yes.
We're gonna make friends.
Yes.
Wait. The Zoomer gonna figure out how the inbox works. That's magic. It's not only spam and reset passwords, it's also the newsletter.
Also, I read our newsletter that you sent from my name because I want to know what it is.
I want to know what it is you're saying that I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. This is so cool how you came up with this idea because
Yeah, it's
I
very simple. Like
yeah, it sounds very
and you can
simple,
spot
but
that person. Like because you are that way, you can spot that person in the crowd and understand. Oh, this is just he's this as awkward as me right now, and just
yes.
can go there.
And honestly, I feel like the reason I know it so well is because I literally had to learn it. And so it's not, I don't know if it was that intuitive to me years and years ago. And so I think like, oh, I know the steps because I was like, how do you feel comfortable around people? How do you hold a conversation?
yeah,
How do you not be weird?
Looking at Alec, how do you feel comfortable around
So
people?
I'm at the what kind of animal are you part of the quiz? And I
This is the
know.
most
So what
important
do you say?
question.
What kind of the animal am I, people? You are to judge me right now.
the first one, the dog.
The dog, golden
Yes.
Yeah.
retriever. I love activities. I love meeting new people. I love. Okay.
Yes, it's you.
That
Why
sounds
am
exactly
I
how they
in the
described
water?
you.
Why am I in the water? Okay, please continue. I'm for some reason a golden retriever in the water.
Well,
Okay, so I was going up with I was going through a friend breakup a few
Yeah.
months ago, and I was actually thinking about this a lot because if we think about the media that we are watching or consuming all the time, it's all about girlfriend, boyfriend, like how to break up with a boyfriend. Like we know how to break up with a boyfriend. You email,
No.
like no, not email. You send them SMS and say
bye,
bye.
bitch.
Yeah, bye. But how to treat like friends and this misconception that you need to make all of your friends in university. All after that, people are like running out
Yes.
apparently, and you will not meet any new people. And this feeling of maybe that's also ingrained in our hands that if you are like talking too much, you are so needy. You show them that you don't have a lot of friends or something like that. Like how to create this portrait of good friendship, because when I'm thinking about like maybe Lady Bird, the movie, if you have watched it, there is a good friendship there between the Lady Bird and her friend in the end when they choose each other and something like that.
Yes.
But there is no good media about friends. There is no good media about how to break up with friends because that's painful too.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
how to make friends.
I think that's a really interesting question too, and like one my co-founder and I talk a lot about, where it's like, okay, with a romantic relationship, it's easy to break up because you're like, I have, for most people who are monogamous, I have one slot for a romantic partner, and if you don't meet these kind of things, well, it's not a good fit. We should go both meet somebody else. But with friends, it's like I technically have unlimited friend slots. So I'm not saying this isn't doing it for me. I'm saying I could have other friends besides you. I just don't want you as a friend. And I think you're right.
Like
we really,
you.
yeah. And I think we really don't have the language or the framework around that. And it's really hard to even be on the receiving end and be like, oh, I can't even just take this and be like, okay, that's cool. It didn't work out. But it's like, what about me? What did I do? What was so bad that like this person actually doesn't want me in their life?
It just struck me. Wait, do you sort friends somehow? Like,
yes, I do.
By name, by certain, like, I mean, I'm just thinking, like, how do you sort stuff?
No, like, I don't know. I sort friends a lot because, well, there are friends that well, it's also kind of complicated which people I can call friends.
Okay, how do you sort people? How do you sort people out? I mean, like, when I imagine a table
Gryffindor,
with people,
Slytherin, Hufflepuff, and Ravenclaw.
Easy.
That's one way, but still, like, when I think, like imagine like a table with people and like the sort button is like name, surname, I don't know what else. How do you sort?
I don't know. With some people, I can, like, for example, just meet for a coffee or like drink a beer. Am I friends with them? I'm not sure if we are friends. We just like, I like to hang out with them. With some people, I'm like, we're coming to them to discuss my problems. But like maybe not all problems.
That's psychotherapy. That's not friend.
No, I mean
no.
Like, just let me kick me out of the stimulus lifetime.
Like, so I'm not sure from which part you can call person a best friend. I'm not sure also. Like, it's kind of very strange thing. And you know what's the worst thing? When you consider a person a best friend, and then he or she says like, you're not my best friend. And this is like, ouch.
Again,
Okay.
I don't like you, or I don't trust you. Like, that's what you hear on the receiving end. Like, I have this other best friend. What do you think? Do you are my best friend? Oh my God, so much trauma coming up.
Yes.
So, Nina, what is in your head right now?
I was just thinking, even about the question of like, how do we do friend breakups? And was just thinking, like, I wonder if it has to be a very straight conversation where it's like, listen, this friendship isn't working for me, da, 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 da. Or can it just be this, like, where you decline more invitations to hang out, where you're not as proactive about reaching out or messaging or maintaining the relationship? And I was just thinking around, like, I don't know, what is the right way to do it, or what is a way that doesn't hurt somebody, where it doesn't leave them confused about, like, oh, you're freezing me out? Like, what happened? We used to hang out all the time, and now you always have plans and you don't include me. Or is it worse to just be like, wow, you're literally you're proactively breaking up with me? Like, that's wild. And yeah, I think like what you were saying, there isn't really any media representation of that either. So I think it's just this like whole fog of what that looks like and how to do it.
Like, usually you get ghosted.
Mhm.
And you just see that they are not inviting you to meetings, and you
Yes.
kind of get the message, let's say.
Yes.
But
Yes.
I think, well, in my case, it was a very long friendship, like 6 to 7
Yes.
years. And at that point, you kind of at least owe a conversation, but it
Yeah.
was a very awkward conversation. Like, hey, hey, listen,
But like, I don't know,
this is
for me
not
it
working.
happens sometimes. Like, I wish I would talk with my friend, but I can't. I just literally don't have mental
Mhm.
capacity to do that. And I
Mhm.
even don't have mental capacity to say like him or her, like, I'm sorry, I cannot talk right now, like physically, I don't have powers.
Yeah.
And people thinking that I'm ghosting them because like, oh, probably she doesn't want to be friends with me anymore. But I do want, but I don't have powers for that. And this is the worst.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
the
feel like
communication styles are
yes.
different.
I feel like we've all been on both the giving and receiving end of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
have never
What am I
received.
doing? What am I doing
You're
in
not
this
in
podcast?
our psychotherapy session today.
No, I still honestly don't get why do you part with friends? Like
Oh my
they
God.
like why? Like
What do you mean?
Like, they hurt you, for example, they said hurtful stuff,
okay,
and
Yeah.
and
it's okay. Like,
I mean she says hurtful stuff to me all the time, and you're laughing at it, so maybe it works.
I think it's passive aggression, and you just feel about it. If this is the question. Like, you have so many friends, how you sort them?
Yeah.
By the mood. So
Mhm.
one
Okay.
people like by the mood, as in by how, but what they like doing. And I pretty much try to think what am I up to right now. Whatever, going to a rave party, that one set of friends, going to a pub, it's another set of friends, game dev party, that's another set of friends, startup party, that's another set of friends.
Mhm.
So it's about no, it's not about me, or like it's about
I don't know.
what they like.
I'm like, but you cannot build that really close connections with people when you're doing some particular stuff only with them. So it's not that kind of deep connection. So is it okay?
And what is the question?
Is it okay for you? Because like for me, it's very important to build like very deep connections with person. So like I can be truly myself with those.
You are talking to a white dude over 30. White dude over 30 care only about themselves.
Okay, pass the test then.
I cannot. Right now, like it's like you can help me. Ring. It's your best friend calling for some reason from Russia. How do they describe you?
Okay.
Authentic, open, playful, charismatic, caring, open-hearted, thoughtful, curious, generous, inclusive, warm, empathetic, approachable, easygoing, fun, dynamic.
Easygoing, fine,
Well,
dynamic.
easygoing. Yeah.
Even I'd say that, yeah.
Okay, approachable. Yeah, people approach me, so it works.
You're literally
Okay.
approachable.
Now we said mnemonic. question I'm gonna read.
Okay,
Like
do
you
it
can
by yourself. I have a question a bit like, yeah, we are discussing our friends' drama, but I want to come back to our conversation about your project like a bit. So you have a community. You build a
Yes.
community out of it. How to get there?
Yeah, so for us, we're still experimenting with the format. Like, it's even funny our conversation around, what makes a real friend? Do you just do activities with them? But is that meaningful? How do you build a deep connection? Like, I think our first goal with the community when we launched it 4 or 5 months ago now, it was like, how you have these group of friends, you have one group you do yoga with, you have one group you'll go for drinks with, you have one group you'll talk work stuff with. You're like, imagine if you have a community where you can share all the sides of yourself with these people and you can do all these things together so they can see all of you and not just the one side of you. And that was like exactly our goal of how can you find people that you can do everything with and not just this one kind of thing. And what we found, or at least like I changed my mind on this after a few months of experimenting, is I think it's really, really hard to do that. And I don't know if a community can find the people who are exactly like you. I think they can create opportunities for you to meet people and see what comes out of it. But I almost like, I'm now leaning towards, I prefer having the groups of people who will do different things with me. I have the close friends who I talked about personal problems, then I have the friends I go out with, and I have the friends I do like whatever soccer and volleyball with, and I have the friends I'll chat online with. And now I'm like, that's actually okay that you can't be everything to me. And that's a lot
Yeah.
to ask of one person or, a group of people to be like, I want you to like everything I like and be excited about everything I'm excited about and want to do all the things when I want to do them.
But please.
Oh.
No, but why? I mean, it's like I strongly relate with what Nina is saying. I mean, you cannot demand everything from a person.
Like I perfectly relate with that, but still I want at least some person, at least one
Yes.
person, two people who would kind of understand me. I'm not
Yes.
asking them to like everything that I like, but that we would have the close
Yes.
connection and understanding of each other. This is what I ask for.
Yeah, the way that we change the community to try and be better at facilitating that is now we have more like, okay, sorry, our next version of the community was running 3-month cohorts around a specific topic. And you're like, cool, you'll see the people over and over. Like every week we'll have a 2-hour meetup. You get to learn, you get to see this person like make jokes and be smart and be funny and be insightful, whatever it is. And feel like you actually get to know someone on a deeper level because you're doing something together. And that structure didn't really work out just because of the time commitment and I think how specific the topics were. And so what we're doing now that's been really cool is like people just organize the things that they want to do. So somebody was like, I'm going to a virtual volunteer orientation session to learn how to take care of your local park. Anyone want to join? Someone else was like, I want to learn about finance investing in stocks. I'm going to watch this masterclass. Anybody want to join? And so now the idea is more like you can see the same people because you're all part of the same community. And you can still get a sense of each other of like, oh, how does this person think about money? How does this person respond when somebody shares a personal problem? And so you can start to see like who the people you resonate with are. And then it's kind of on you to like build that relationship further. But you have the kind of high score university context where you're in the same place, you're doing things together, and you're constantly exposed to them.
I like that. I like that format a lot, actually, because sometimes I have things that I like doing by myself. Like, and I, even with this community, I consider it very inclusive, but I don't feel like I can come here and like talk about my movie obsession, for example, about,
No,
I
you
tried
can
it didn't work.
It's just like there are no people who can relate with that yet.
Yeah.
But
Well, one day. But I think you have kind of dodged the bullet with this new setup, because before you were explaining it to me, I thought, okay, this is the next Facebook. And we kind of all know how Facebook ended up and where is it going, like copying everything, new Clubhouse, blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
And what you're actually saying, it's very interesting. What are you using right now to organize that? Is it just Zoom and Slack, or what's your setup?
Zoom and Discord, yeah. So it's, we
Zoom.
decided to go with, yeah, I know. We really like Zoom. But we found with Discord over Slack, just because we're like, Slack's very corporate. It's what we're used to working with startups. And we just wanted it to feel different than another, like one of your million women in tech or, whatever young founders group. So we chose Discord. And obviously there's like more community parts. There's more ways to interact with people. So that's where our community needs to like share articles and share what they're thinking about or working on or whatever's going on in their lives. And then Zoom is where we run like our events. Unless it's hosted by somebody else, in which case we just jump onto wherever that's being hosted.
Yeah, that's actually like I'm right now. You're telling me this, and I'm seeing how much money you can raise with that idea. Because I have read maybe like a few weeks ago that loneliness is the new epidemic that humanity will see, because like all of these dating apps and like I think it was called having too much choice over everything. And even with the Tinder and Bumble, you're constantly swiping, you're waiting for the next best thing, and you don't want to settle and provide that slot of time to someone just because you want it to be this
story. Like the way we started our dating app, that's exactly what we wanted to do as well, where it was based on, it was over text message, and you would just be sent like one match a week, and you could only have one match at a time. And so our goal was like, how can you get rid of all this choice and all the speed where you're like, well, okay, I don't know, I'm not sold on this person, and there's a million more out there. So let me just swipe infinitely forever until I find like the perfect person. And let me also talk to 40 other people. So I think you're really, really right. Like, I think having too much choice makes it hard to commit to, like, whether it's a romantic relationship or a friend. I think it's just become so easy to be like, oh, you're not perfect. You said something weird. It put me off. I misunderstood. I'd just rather not deal with this and just move on to the next person who hasn't done anything wrong and who we haven't had this kind of, whatever it is, friction with.
Yeah, it's very hard, I believe, especially right now. Like you can't just like let's assume that before we were going to coffee shops and we were like socializing all the time, but now we're not even going to the coffee shops, and we're not like very limited socializing like experiences. Like it's very hard, and I think that can be a very interesting way. Have you seen Black Mirror?
Which episode?
The Hank the DJ, I guess that's how it was called, like
the
matchmaking one. Where they were driving to basically the gist of the episode is like it's providing you a new match every time with different limited amount of
yes.
Yeah, and you eventually go to the perfect partner, like through learning from your mistakes, they match you with your perfect partner. I think that's a very good approach, because you can't I don't think if they had a perfect relationship right off the bat, they will appreciate who they become after all those different and bad people that they dated. So I don't know. That's a very interesting concept. But I really like that you're not focusing on relationship, honestly, just because like friendship, at least for me, it's much more deeper. I love my husband, but my friends, I love them too.
I kind of in the same way with you, to be honest.
And it's funny,
men are okay with friends. They're better.
And the way we even got to the community was just realizing that, at least the way that I felt, was like dating apps really suck. And especially going into a date where you're like, I don't even know you, but we're already on a date. Like, that's super weird. We could just not like each other. We could be not attracted. Why are we already so far in the process? Like, I wish I could kind of get to know you. I wish I could see you around whatever, work, my neighborhood, a sport, something that kept bringing us together. And then when I got to know you, then let's see if we're attracted. Then let's see if we want to explore something else. So even our community was a way to be like, this still, like, it's not dating focused, but I mean, if you're around these people and you see somebody who draws you and that you respect how they think and how they are, like, that's what I think good relationships come out of, good romantic relationships.
Yeah. And Alex's favorite question, I need to ask this. How are you? Like
I was so into like, can we talk about money? Can we talk about money? Can we talk about money?
Let's talk
but I was
about
afraid that you're gonna slap me. So
no, I will not slap you, because I think this is $1 billion idea. Like,
hey, we are good enough to ask this. Okay, Anna, go for it.
Like, how are you monetizing this? How you plan to monetize it? Like, will you raise money? Raise money, please. Become $1 billion unicorn.
So it's so funny. We've actually gone in the very opposite direction, where we started as like a venture-backed kind of startup. We raised money and went through Techstars. And that was like 2 years ago. And we've actually been moving very strongly away from being that kind of startup that raises money to the point where, like, we're even moving the community to a kind of side part-time job, just because it felt like going into it full-time for us really switched the incentives to be against organic community growth and more towards like okay, what's the best price point for this? How can we scale it as fast as possible? How do you hit hockey stick growth? How do you fundraise? And it also moved us away from actually working on the community to working on the business, which was like not an interest for either of us. And so we experimented with monetizing a few different ways. First, when we were doing like the big 3-month cohorts, we almost priced it like a summer camp where it's like, oh, it's $500. You get the 3 months, you get to see the same people. It's one big lump sum, but you also get like this commitment. And then we found that didn't work super well. So we switched to, okay, there's a one-time joining fee. And then you're in the community and that's it. But we found because it's such an upfront cost and because you can't get a sense of the community until you're in, it just also was a big barrier. So now we've gone to like a smaller upfront joining cost because we interview everybody and it takes some time to like vet people for the community. And now just like a $9 a month cost where we're like, it's low enough that you don't really have to think that much about like, do I want to spend $50 a month? Is it worth it for me? But I think also money's a great motivator and incentivizer for people to be like, okay, I paid. So let me see, like, what am I getting out of this? Let me contribute. Let me get in there. Whereas if it's free, I think it's so much easier to just be like, yeah, whatever. Like, I'm not really interested. I totally forgot about it. It's been a year. I'm not even really a member anymore. So that's our current experiment.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next thing that we're thinking of trying is, can we have the community be free, but almost have sponsors where it's like, I don't know, if you imagine a kombucha making company, like some kind of kombucha company, and they're like, we'll run a workshop for you guys in your community and we'll send you kombucha making kits to the 10 people who sign up and we'll pay you $2,000 to get access to your community and run this kind of like workshop. And so for the brand, it gets exposure to the people in our community. For us, we have activities for people to do and see if that cost can kind of be put on a business instead of the community members. But that's kind of like a more in the future thing to experiment with.
And what approach do you like more? What do you think makes more sense for your community, for your people?
Yeah, so I want to say it's either the low monthly cost or having the sponsored business kind of workshops or information sessions where it's not an ad, but you like get to really learn about something that's interesting and important to you. But I think that also might be more relevant when the community gets bigger because right now it's like 20, 25 people, I want to say. So obviously that's not like a huge audience draw. Yeah, but I also like that it's like a low price makes it feel more inclusive.
Yeah.
And I think for me, the goal is like get more people in, not keep it high cost and exclusive and really like filtered.
Yeah, but still you're selling a membership, right? Like what is your message? How do you approach people? Like what's
$9 a month for a bunch of friends? That sounds appealing.
Yeah, how are you doing that?
Yeah, pretty much for us, it's like, is the way that we talk about it, it's like, is there a lot of stuff that you've always wanted to do, but just realistically speaking, you're not going to do it by yourself? Like I wanted to learn about finance, but the odds of me actually sitting to do a course on it, like zero, pretty much zero. It's like, what if you could meet really cool people and get to do things that you're really excited about and know that those things are bringing you together? And you always have this group of people that like literally anytime you want to do something, there's people there who will do it with you. And you can just pay $9 a month for that access.
And what is the product? I'm sorry to poop the protein. So what is the product? Is the product like the relations, the community, the people? What's the product?
I would say the product is the access to other people. Like, do you guys know Meetup?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like Meetup if Meetup were cooler.
I mean, like, I can totally relate. You're paying like few thousand euros for university to meet new friends, and here you pay like just €9 per month.
And don't have to go to creepy lectures.
Yes, you have to go to creepy lectures, like sold out. I don't know what's the problem. Where is my money? Where's my credit card?
I mean, look, the vibe in this chat is as Anna and Lera are packing their bags and flying to Toronto. But
yes, I am.
Until they take off, Nina, would you like to talk also about your podcast? I didn't listen to it, but it looks so cool.
Is it the newsletter?
It's written podcast on your website.
Oh, the podcast on our website. Yes. Okay. So, right. We wanted to do something that wasn't just a how-to manual, which is more like what our weekly or monthly newsletters are, but just something that shows I don't know, like the kinds of conversations and the connection you can have with somebody when you're actually really good friends. And so for us, that podcast was just, I don't know, a way for us to talk about the things that are interesting to us and just show what the kind of vibe of the community is, what our vibe is as people, what we care about, how we think about things, and just be like, do you
And did it
relate
work?
to this?
Did it work? Did people
Yes.
relate? Did people just listen to two people
Of
talking?
course, look at them. They look so nice and happy on their picture. Of course, I would listen to it. What a stupid question.
It was actually surprising because we didn't know. We were like, is this just boring and only interesting to us because it's things we think about and like nobody else cares? It's not like we're famous to be like, what does Brad Pitt think about this? What does Ellen DeGeneres, whatever, think about this? It's like two random people from Toronto. But it was actually really surprising to see how many people reached out to us after and were like, hey, I'm in my early 20s and I'm just starting to think about this stuff. And it's really cool to see how you guys are talking about it. And it actually opened something up for me. It's like, I'm done. Job done. Like, that's what we wanted the podcast to do. That's incredible. Didn't even like dare dream that would be possible.
No, you're so nice. It's just like warming my heart so much for some reason.
Are we friends now?
With you, Anna.
With everyone.
I'm putting a yes in.
Sure.
For me, it's a yes.
Sure, Anna. We're friends.
It's funny. Just yesterday, I listened to a podcast. An interview with the founder of adulthood school. So pretty much,
How to become an adult? Or what?
yeah, how to be a teenager, how to grow up.
Oh, I remember seeing
As
that
in-
company.
Yeah, I forgot what, but like people watching us is gonna be probably somewhere down whatsoever. It's yeah, like apparently school doesn't teach you lots of stuff that university expect you to just know, whatever about
Mhm.
finances, about loans, about like,
Taxes.
Yes.
about how to register at an apartment, and then you go to your friends or to your parents to talk about that. Hey, sometimes you just cannot, maybe because your parents are from another country or live in another country or whatsoever, and you may not have a lot of context. So it's indeed a school and a community. Obviously, everything is about the communities these days of how to grow up.
I love it.
Yes.
Honestly, like I had a fine on my company a few months ago because I forgot to submit a report that I did not know that I needed to submit. If someone told me.
But I mean, we've been live for an hour, more than an hour actually. How do you want to wrap it up? Do you want, I know, to hug and whatever, promise Nina to travel to her like whenever the borders open or whenever she's on this content?
No, I want to ask you, did you pass the test?
Yes.
No,
who
I
are
did
you?
not. Like, so that's the problem. I did not pass the test.
Because
I'm
you
not
were
smart
talking
enough.
to people. I
No,
know.
First failure.
I failed the test.
There were
I used these
10
hands to
questions,
fail the
10
test.
questions, and we answered one for you, like two for you,
Yes,
and you
and I still
failed.
managed to fail it. Exactly in the same
Abomination.
way. Exactly in the same way of how this website looks totally washed up. Like it looks good, like good people website. It looks good in the browser. On the stream, something is wrong with colors. So I use these two hands to break stuff, and I'm very talented. Thank you very much.
And didn't pass the test.
No.
So-
So we established that he does not have friends. Those people are just acquaintances.
yes. Oh, by the way, Nina, who are you from this test?
So I'm the host. It's
What
like
does
the
this
person
mean?
who likes to bring people together, who likes to take care of the situation, who likes to make sure that like everybody's doing okay and checks in on people, takes care of them.
Oh, it's like
So
mom
sort of like this-
friend.
Yeah, exactly. I'm the mom friend. Yes, like makes the plans, invites people. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, I love mom friends.
Oh, that's so funny. Oh, like I think if you get the one that I'm thinking of, then we'll all be the 4 different ones available.
I just failed. I'm a failed person.
I'm gonna sit in front of him and like literally stare how he gonna pass it, because I was like lurking from time to time, and I say, okay, he's still passing the test. Okay, he's still passing the test, and then like I see like something happened with him, and I'm like,
I broke something.
okay. So yeah, I guess it's time to finish. It was super fun.
It was. I love this experience.
I really
This was
love
such
this.
a great chat.
Yes, I know, right? I feel so much better right now. knowing that I'm not the only loser here. So, yes, thank you very much. Thank you very much
Thank
for
you.
your
Oh,
time.
Now
my
we will
pleasure.
go
Thanks for
to
having me.
Do you
and
want to go to people to spend
yes,
another 15 minutes just
yes,
like to debrief?
because I have a few business ideas for you.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
And
let's go to
Okay.
people.
I also didn't want to spoil the live stream with a creepy product business, stuff. Also, I was afraid of something would be thrown at me. She's
What
too
what you're talking about? Okay,
good.
goodbye everybody on the stream, and let's meet on people.
People, click on the people channel, please.
bye.